Okay, so now we're going to start off, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our data. And so it starts off with an import Combine. There we go. Now have access to the Combine framework. The thing that sets Combine different from using closures is that, well, um, basically we're using futures and promises, and they're more lightweight. They're less, you know, you don't really have the issues with memory problems, the memory leaks that you would with closures. Okay, and references, strong references. Now that being said, there are times when you have to exclusively call for a reference to be weak. Okay, weak self. But let's go ahead and do this, and let's talk about this implementation of Combine's reactive programming framework. Okay, so one thing we're going to do is we need to make this a singleton, right? We want um our networking service to be a singleton. Why? Because we only want one instance of this existing at any time. So that means you aren't allowed to create an instance. You access it through your static let um property, which is equal to the networking service. And really that says it all right there. Public static let networking service. And that's how you start off. That's how you make a singleton right there. So now let's go ahead and create a function. Oh, and by the way, whenever you do this, let's go ahead and do this. Private, because we always want this to be kind of like one way in, one way out, right? That's it. This is your initializer, and you can't access it except from within the class. Another attribute of a singleton, right? Let me see. So, okay. Sorry about that. So now let's say public. Okay. We're going to call this fetch API response. API response, and it will URL of type URL. Okay. And we will return a type of future. This future will be of type data. Now, let me go ahead and say this. A lot of examples you'll see on the internet are different than I do them. Why? Because I like my networking service to be separate. I want the function that handles getting the data, retrieving data, separate from the functionality that handles parsing it. Most people who do this will have those all in one function. And they'll try to make it generic. You pass a generic type, and then when you create a generic type here, right here, and then when you call this function, in your view model, you put in the data type, which is the acronym object, right? This is the object that you're going to pass through there. I don't do it like that. I have everything separate. I'm going to show you step by step, but yeah. Where's my networking? service. So that's just a little note right there, right? And so now we return future, right? And it is of type data, right? Error for now, okay? And you can make this a custom error, but I mean, look, let's just move on, right? I'll show you what I'm talking about later. Okay, so now we're gonna and we are returning promise. Give back a promise in. Now, when you start, you make a reference from promise, you know, and you're gonna pass this to something. We got to make sure that this is not strong reference, right? We self. Okay. All right. If you don't understand that, again, I have prior videos that explain it. URL session dot shared. Yes, because URL session, the object URL session has its own shared property and it is a singleton. Data task publisher for what? For URL. Right there. And yeah, so everything seems to be on point. No errors, bill succeeded. Okay, so now I want to separate this a little bit. All right, so now that we have this, we can say dot subscribe on, right, on dispatch queue. This refers to um this refers to queues and threading, and I'm gonna make a video on that. I haven't done that yet. Sorry. Global, the quality of service, of course, is the QoS dot background. So just do it like that. So that's all you have to do right there. Then we say try map, right? Say try map. Let's go ahead and do this. And of course, data response. Okay. And it returns what? Data. In. Absolutely. So now that we have this, okay, let's go ahead and make a guard statement and then a return, right? We're gonna return data, but I want to make sure the status code is decent, right? Again, we've talked about this status code in earlier videos dealing with table views and API calls. But status code, let status code equal, say, response as here, HTTP URL response, okay, dot status code, okay, and then we want to say 200, 1, 2, 3 to 300. Anything between 2 and 300, we're good. This is how you say. And it's equal to status code. Else, we're not going to return false. We're going to throw. Throw response error dot bad status code. Bad status code. Okay, so now this should, let me see what the heck is going on right here. And I don't know why I did that. This should be a comma. Okay, and now that I've done this, return data. All right, now that I have this, um, okay. So now I'm going to say dot sync, right? So dot sync. Okay, sorry, I had that wrong. So we say data. Okay, and then after this one, this should say dot re dot sync dot receive completion, right? And this should say, right, I'm gonna say completion, completion. Okay. Completion in, right? And then I'm gonna do an if let. Check this out. If case let, okay, dot failure, right? Error. So this is what we're looking for. This variable error, if it's equal to completion, right? Right. If it's failed, then we're gonna switch. Switch error. Case. Okay. Let URL error. That's right. So sometimes if you get one of the characters wrong in the let me show you what I'm talking about. URL component constants. So if you get one of these wrong, like knack them or get the C wrong or leave one of these off, you're gonna get a URL error and you want to be able to catch it right here, right? Or somehow something changes. You want to be able to catch it there. As URL error, URL error, colon, promise, dot failure. URL area. URL error. Okay. C V. Okay. Promise. Default. Promise. Dot failure. Response error dot unknown dot I'm just gonna say invalid URL for now. Because I don't feel like going into this and trying to get the right one. Sorry, people. So now let's go here and we'll say data. Self was used but never written. Let me see. I'm looking at this up here. Okay, well, let's just do this. So let's see. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna say promise dot success data, and then I need to store, right? Dot sto store in cancelables. Cancelables. But remember, we don't even have something called cancellables, right? We got to create that. So let's go up here. Let's say var cancelables sets any cancelables. That's a set of any cancelable. Okay. Empty array. And so now we're here. And it says that you must use self. I don't want to do that there. Self dot here. It takes a little time for this thing to catch up. Okay, self dot cancelables. Okay, insert what? Okay. This should be working right here. Okay. Okay. So now we're going to test it. In order to test, let's do one thing for sure, right? We're not going to be able to get an HTTP request because let me show you. This is HTTP, not HTTPS. It's not secured. And security settings don't allow that. So in order to allow this in Xcode, you must go to info.plist. Let's go here and let's add a row. Okay, and we'll call this app transport security settings, right? Then we're gonna click this down and we're gonna write. Let me see something. Right, and then up. There you go. Allows arbitrary loads. So right here is the parent. Now we do another one that does allows arbitrary loads, and we say yes. You might have to practice this. Make sure that it's inside this, okay? So now we're sure that we can go ahead and test this, and we won't get an app transport security settings problem. So, okay, so next we're just gonna test and see to make sure that we have data and print it here to the console. Yeah, so come back in the next lesson. On to the next. Let's see. Stop.